Our journey begins with the colonial era. Many African nations were under foreign rule, with powers controlling their economies and political systems, primarily for their own benefit. This period left a bitter legacy of weak institutions and borders that did not align with the socio-political realities of the regions they encompassed. As we transition into the post-independence era, we see many African countries grappling with governance issues, building effective institutions, establishing stable political systems, and crafting inclusive economic policies posed significant challenges. Often, the rulers who replaced the colonial governments adopted similar exploitative practices, sometimes with the support of former colonial powers and new international allies, lured in by the continent's resources. Corruption emerges as a formidable obstacle in our timeline. In many African countries, corruption has hampered development, deterred foreign investment, and undermined the rule of law. This leads to economic disparities and social inequities, further complicating the path to progress. Our journey now takes us to the realm of external influence and economic policies. International policies have sometimes prioritized the interests of foreign nations or corporations over the developmental needs of African nations. Trade policies and debt lending practices have often maintained economic structures that disproportionately benefit wealthy countries at the expense of developing ones. Next, we explore the duality of dependency and aid. While international aid has been instrumental in addressing immediate humanitarian needs, over-reliance on aid can also undermine local industries and agriculture if not properly managed. Moreover, the conditions attached to international loans and aid can sway domestic policies in ways that may not always align with the best interests of the recipient nations. As we reach the present day, we see many African nations making significant strides towards better governance, economic independence, and social equity. There are growing calls for more equitable international relationships and an increase in intra-African cooperation and trade, exemplified by initiatives like the African Continental Free Trade Area. To summarize, the issues faced by African nations are deeply rooted in historical contexts and contemporary realities. Addressing them requires a nuanced approach that promotes sovereignty, sustainable development, and equitable economic practices. The journey is complex, but the potential for progress and prosperity is immense.